Hello and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Faculty of Pharmacy, Universitas Sumatera Utara. In this video, we will be presenting about a particular topic, which is on how to stop smoking. This video, we will discuss about three main topics. So the first topic is epidemiology and condition of smokers. Before we dive deep into the data, we need to know what is epidemiology. So, epidemiology is a branch of science that studies the incidence and distribution of health-related problems and their determinants. So, globally, the distribution of smokers around the world are divided between industrialized countries and developing countries. In the year 2000, the developing countries has about 64% of total smokers, while the industrialized country has about 36%. However, if we were to follow the pattern of increasing smokers every year, in the year 2025, about 85% of smokers will come from developing countries, while 50% will come from industrialized countries. So the data shows that 5.4 million deaths per year are from tobacco use. However, if we were to follow the pattern, then the total of deaths will be increased to 8 million deaths per year by the year 2030. And 80% of these deaths will occur in developing countries. Next, we will be comparing the data of total smokers in between two countries, which is Malaysia and Indonesia. The first table shows the national prevalence of smoking in Malaysia. I would like to focus on the overall current smokers, which is 21.5%. Now, look at the next table. Let's focus on the total percent of overall tobacco usage. As you can see, it is 34.5%. The total percent of smokers in Indonesia is higher when compared to Malaysia. Now we have to take account that there might be a difference of culture between these two countries that might affect the end result between these two data. Now let's have a look at both of these graphs. The first one is percentage of male smokers in Indonesia, while the second one is prevalence of smoking by age group. In the second graph, you can see that it consists of total male and female percent. Now, based on these two graphs, you can say that male smokers are significantly higher than female smokers. Now, this might be due to the culture in Indonesia, where people in Indonesia will look at male smokers as something that is normal and it is reasonable. Now let's have a look at the first graph. In 2010, the numbers are 70.6%, while in 2016, the numbers have increased to 76.1%. Which means that in the year 2016, 76.1% of total male in Indonesia have taken tobacco or are still using tobacco. Let's take a look at the second graph, which is prevalence of smoking by age group. The highest smokers belongs to the 25 to 44 years old. This age group have financial stability, which means they have the freedom to buy their own brand of tobacco. Now let's take a look at the first group, which is for 15 to 34 years old. This particular age group is the starting point or starting age for all of these smokers, which is why they are the main focus for tobacco marketing, because they are in the phase of exploration or want to try new things and have a tendency to follow new trends, including the trends of using tobacco. Next, let's take a look at the prevalence of COPD by smoking habits in Indonesia in the year 2013. The table is showing the relationship of smoking habits and COPD percent. The smoking habits with the highest COPD percent is at no but previously smoked every day, which is 10.7%. When compared to the smoking habits of never at all, the COPD percent is at 3.1%. This shows that even though smokers have stopped smoking, however, the degree of their smoking is too heavy and have caused long-term complications. Now let's take a look at the percentage of cases due to smoking. The type of cases that have the largest number is the lung cancer, which is at 78%. Next is the correlation of smoking and blood pressure. The table shows the degree of smoking and the blood pressure. So the degree of smoking are divided into two groups, which is light, moderate, and heavy. For the light and moderate group, the normal blood pressure is about 81% when compared to the high blood pressure, which is 90%. Now in the second group, which is the heavy smoking, the blood pressure for normal is about 60.3%, while at the high blood pressure is at 39.7%. This shows that the degree of smoking can affect the blood pressure. Second, smoking or passive smokers are people that are around the smokers and have gained complications as a result of inhaling smokes from the tobacco. In this picture, for adults, the complications that they can get are stroke, nasal irritation, lung cancer, coronary heart disease, and even reproductive effects in women, which causes low birth weight. For children, they can cause sudden infant death syndrome, middle ear disease, respiratory symptoms, impaired lung function, and even lower respiratory illness.
And now I will explain how smoking control strategies. Next slide.
As you can see on this slide, there's pictorial health warning on Malaysia and Indonesian cigarette packets. Many countries have introduced regulation which requires pictorial health warning to be put onto cigarette packets. In Malaysia, pictorial health warning has been mandatory by law through the Control of Tobacco Products Regulation since 2009. Studies have shown that pictorial health warning have triggered smokers to think about quitting and to some extent non-smokers, especially youth, not to start smoking. Pictorial health warning exposes the youth on the real effect of smoking, and another study by the University Science Malaysia showed that since the implementation of pictorial warnings, smokers were more likely to think about the health risks of smoking. These are some pictures of cigarette packets in Indonesia, which is similar to Malaysia once, and here it's also strict about monitoring young adults on not smoking or stop smoking. Next slide. These are places where smoking is prohibited. As in Malaysia, the strategy of Empower requires party members to protect non-smokers from being exposed to cigarette smoke in public places. The duty to protect individuals from tobacco smoke corresponds to an obligation by governments to enact legislation to protect individuals against threats to their fundamental rights and freedoms. This obligation extends to all persons and not merely to certain population. Expanding the public places where smoking is prohibited not only protects the public from cigarette smoke, it also helps to denormalize smoking as a culture in our society. Smoking prohibition gives the message to children that smoking is not acceptable and should not be tolerated. Studies have also shown that smoking prohibition is beneficial for smokers too. In addition to reduce cigarettes consumption, smoking prohibition can trigger quit smoking decision within them. Smoking ban is public places have the potential to increase awareness of health hazards of smoking and enhances the intention to quit among smokers. For example, praying areas, restaurants, hospitals, school buses, airports, and many more.
First, let's start by understanding nicotine, which is a potent chemical found in cigarette. Nicotine impacts several neurotransmitters in our brain, including dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin, and GABA. These neurotransmitters are associated with pleasure, arousal, mood modulation, and cognitive enhancement. While smoking may provide short-term rewards such as mood enhancements and performance improvement, it's crucial to note that these effects are fleeting and come at high cost to health. However, when a person decides to quit smoking, they often experience withdrawal symptoms, due to nicotine addiction. The most common withdrawal symptoms include nicotine cravings, weight gain, sleep problems, a persistent cough, stress, irritation, and what's known as quit the flu. These symptoms can make quitting difficult, but it's important to recognize that they are temporary and manageable with the right support and strategies. Moving on. Let's look at how different countries are tackling the smoking epidemic. In Malaysia and Indonesia, there are significant efforts to promote smoke-free environment, particularly targeting young people. In Malaysia, the IMF or I Am Free from Cigarettes program is particularly one of the initiatives that aim at educating the younger generation about the dangers of smoking from an early age. This awareness is crucial as preventing smoking in youth can drastically reduce the prevalence of smoking-related diseases later in life. Similarly, Indonesia has the STAR program, which stands for Sehat Tanpa Asap Rokok, translating to Healthy Without Cigarette Smoke. This program is targeted at both the young generation and the broader community. The STAR program is comprehensive, involving school syllabus, physical education lessons, health counseling, and social media campaigns, ensuring that the message reaches all levels of society. Both countries emphasize the severe health risks associated with smoking, such as lung cancer, strokes, heart attack, hair loss, eye disorder like cataracts, tooth decay, bad breath, infertility, and impotence. In conclusion, while quitting smoking can be challenging due to nicotine addiction and withdrawal symptoms, the health benefits are undeniable. Programs like IMF and STAR are vital in educating and supporting communities to lead smoke-free lives, particularly targeting the younger generation to prevent them from picking up the habit in the first place. Together, these efforts can significantly reduce the prevalence of smoking-related diseases and improve public health.
This about is smoke-free health program in school area. In Malaysia, have the program. The name is Kontak. What is Kontak? The main is Kesehatan Oral Tanpa Asap. Screening and early intervention program provided by the dental health team. School through the dental care program. Identified smokers will be given a brief and follow-up briefing designed to give them to quit smoking. Common signs like yellowing of teeth and tartar buildup. The program in Indonesia, the name is KTR. The main is non-smoking area. The program explained to protect the health of the younger generation, especially to students, to support and comply with this policy in order to create and clean and a healthy environment.
Therapeutic management of smoking cessation. Next. In attempting to explain this pattern of behavior, Prochaska and Di Clemente have developed a trans-theoretical model of behavioral change, which proposes that behavioral change occurs in 5 distinct stages through which people move in a cyclical or spiral pattern. This model is most often featured diagrammatically. The first one is pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation is the stage in which people are not intending to take an action in the foreseeable future, usually measured as the next 6 months. People may be in this stage because they are uninformed or underinformed about the consequences of their behavior, or they may have tried to change a number of times and become demoralized about their ability to change. Both groups tend to avoid reading, talking, or thinking about their high-risk behavior. Next one is contemplation. Contemplation is the stage in which people are intending to take change in the next 6 months. They are more aware of the pros of changes, but are also acutely aware of the cons. This balance between the cost and the benefit of changes can produce profound ambivalence that can keep people stuck in this stage for a long period of times. We often characterize this phenomenon as a chronic contemplation or behavior procrastination. These people are also not ready for any action-oriented programs. Next. Preparation is the stage in which people are intending to take action in the immediate future, usually measured as the next month. They will have typically taken some significant action in the past year. These individuals have a plan of action, such as joining a quit smoking clinic, consulting a healthcare professional, buying a self-help book, or relying on a self-change approach. These are the people that should be recruited for action-oriented smoking cessation program. The next one is action. Action is the stage in which people have made specific overt modification in their lifestyle within the past 6 months. Since action is observable, behavior changes often have been equated as action. But in trans theoretical model, action is only one of the 5 stages. Not all modification of behavior count as action in this model. People must attain a criterion that scientists and professionals agree that is sufficient to reduce risk of disease. In smoking, for example, only total abstinence counts. Next. Maintenance is a stage in which people are working to prevent relapse. They don't apply change processes as frequently as do people in action. They are less tempted to relapse and increasing more confident that they can continue their change. First line drug 1. NRT or nicotine replacement therapy. NRT serves as a substitute for cigarette to fulfill nicotine needs. The dose of NRT will be gradually reduced until it is not needed. 2. Non-nicotine drugs. One is bupropion SR, second one is varenicline. Next. The second line drug we have clonidine and nortriptyline, but is rarely used. Also, we can have a combination therapy if people have difficulty quitting smoking with a single drug. Example, we can have patch plus gum or lozenge on inhaler, or we can have patch plus bupropion. Next. Okay, the last one is non-pharmacological therapy. Non-pharmacological therapy do not use drugs in the curing process. When an intention to smoke arises, try to do activities such as exercising, meditating, cycling, etc.